Today I'm joined by Southport centre-back Adam Anson, who joined the club back in January and made his debut back in March. All right, mate, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So I've been coping during lockdown. Obviously, things are easing now.
Yeah, not too bad. One of my mates was in lockdown with me from the very start because his parents were high risk. So the first 2.5 months, it wasn't too bad keeping fit with him because he's a footballer like myself. He's just signed for TNS in the Welsh League, so it wasn't too bad. We're keeping ourselves fit, and then obviously as lockdowns eased off, he's moved back into his now, and it's just me by myself with me mum and two sisters.
What's fitness regime been like for you? You've been just doing your, obviously it was 20 minutes your exercise at first, going out, keeping up with that all the time?
Yeah, so I do a kids coaching company that I've got set up, and I've got our own place in Hale. So obviously it's private land, so technically I was allowed to do my exercise there. It's got football pitch, goals, cones, mannequins and all stuff. So me and Louis, who was in quarantine with, we were going there probably 3 times a week, and then just ticking over, just trying to maintain our fitness, because at the time we didn't know if the season was restarting or if it was completely ending or what was going on with it. So we're just trying to keep ticking over and keeping our fitness up. And then obviously as the season's been ended now, I had about a week or two off just to refresh from the year that we've had. And then last week I started training again. So hopefully we'll be back not too long. I'll be ready to go.
What's the mindset like? Is it just like preparing for a normal pre-season?
No, it's very, very different. I said, once we know what's going on with the start date, I feel everyone's minds will be a bit more at ease. I said, but you've got teams like Chester and Kingsland in our league that they've not been told what's going on yet, because obviously there's talk about playoffs, and they don't know if they're going up or down. So obviously it's hard for them to recruit for next season or prepare for next season. Obviously the mindset of the manager, if they're going up to a conference, then they've got to get players that, I don't know, if they go full time, they've got to get players that are willing to go full time. So from a mindset point of view, I think it is difficult for players at this current time. But for me, it's not been too bad, because obviously we've been told that the season's ended, and we can prepare for next season. So it's just maintaining some sort of fitness ready for pre-season, and then hopefully Watson will get us in and get us back running again. We can start strong.
And of course, you joined Southport, as I mentioned, back in January. It's been a bit of a disrupted start for you, because obviously you came back to the club in March, played a game, and then it was lockdown. But, you know, was
Yeah.
it like just getting to know the lads and things like that before all that?
Yeah, it was good. I knew quite a few of the lads coming into Southport. I knew Samo from, I had a little spell at Macclesfield. I knew George, he used to play for Bolton. Jack Doyle, Brad Barres. So there was a few familiar faces when I came in, which is always nice when you're going into a new club. But no, the first training session, everyone made me feel dead comfortable. Obviously, I only trained 2 or 3 times and played once. And I think I did travel. We set off for Kingsland as well. But then that was called off for the weather. And then the week after we played against Kidderminster, I think, in dead windy conditions. And then obviously the pandemic hit. So it's been a good start, but obviously a very weird start at the same time.
But it's like no other club you've been at, like starting at a new club.
I know, yeah.
So what sort of attracted you to Southport? Like, when you found out about their interest, like, how did you feel?
Well, it came out the blue, to be honest. So when I left Chorley, we kind of agreed with Vermo, with the gaffer at Chorley, that I wasn't going to be playing much that season. I thought for my career I need to be playing week in, week out. So I think I left a week before the start of the season, and I had a few offers, more money elsewhere, but dropping down leagues and stuff. And I decided to go for Witten, through recommendations from an old player that I played with at Chorley called Josh Wilson. He was with the gaffers at Witten when he was at Vauxhall Motors, I think. So I went there, dropped down to try and play games, and obviously played, I think it was up till January, I think I played every single game. And then just on a Sunday morning out of the blue, the gaffer rang me and said, Southport have put a bid in for you, and basically what's your thoughts on it. But I was clever at the start, because I asked them to put a release clause in there, which is just to cover my own back, because obviously when clubs can determine what you can and what you can't go for, that's when it's out of your hands. But Witten were always very helpful with the proceedings, and then it was just a matter of meeting up with Watson and sorting out contracts and stuff. But as soon as Southport were interested, there was no question about it if I was staying at Witten or going.
How did your time at Witten sort of help you and sort of get you that more game time? Was it a very important factor to ensure you got that?
100%. I said, when I was at Chorley, I was still seen as the young man. I think I joined, I was only 20. And for me, I felt like I was ready to play. But I was coming into a team that I think had the best defensive record in the National League North over the 2 years. So it was hard to break into the starting 11, even though I felt when I did play, I always played with 100%. I always did myself proud. And I always thought to put in a performance that warranted the start the next game. But, that's football. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. I think I only ended up playing 30 times or something over the 2 seasons. But I did go on loan to Lancaster and Clitheroe, which helped me. But I'd never had a season where I was playing every game week in, week out and learning the trade of men's football. The last time I played consistently was academies, and that's a completely different ball game to coming into men's football. So I think going to Witten has helped me massively, not just as a player but as a person. Stuff that I've struggled with, being a leader and stuff like that, I've had to learn to adapt to my game. So I feel like going to Witten and playing most games has definitely helped me, and hopefully I can push on.
So would you say you're a much more mature player now because of that experience, and just that makes put you in a better position to go with Southport?
Yeah, definitely. I feel when I was at Chorley, I was still the young player, and then I've dropped down and I've gone into a starting 11 where your centre-halves have got to be your leaders. So I feel that I'm matured as a person and as a player, and that's definitely helped me improve as a player on the pitch. And in turn, I feel that's one of the reasons that I was putting in the performances I was at Witten, and hopefully that's what got the recognition from Watson, and that's why I got the move.
So obviously we mentioned you played one game before the lockdown against Kidderminster. Does that make you more hungry to want more, start the new season and just get going again?
Oh yeah, definitely. People say that fans don't make a difference. I said, but when I was at Chorley, you were playing in front of 1,500, and obviously on the playoff games there was up to 3,000 there. So then you drop down to Witten, with no disrespect to the club, but in playing in front of 300, it's a massive difference, because you're going from playing in front of a crowd and getting the buzz of people shouting at you, people shouting at abuse. It spurs you on. I said, and then you go into Witten and you're playing in front of 300, and there's not much of an atmosphere. So obviously when I played my first game back for Southport, you get that buzz again, that you're playing real football, you're playing in front of a crowd, and that spurs you on to do more. So definitely when I played my first game, and I wanted to go and play again the week after and then the week after, but obviously I'm just looking forward to getting back into it now, whenever that will be.
So was you impressed by Hague Avenue and the Southport fans there?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think I played a pre-season game for Wigan. It must have been about 4 years ago now, maybe 3. When we played against Southport, I think I came on for Wigan for about 25 minutes, and it was when they had all the old stand, all the pitch hadn't been done and stuff. So it was a lot different to go and see the brand new stand. Obviously the pitch wasn't in the best condition when I went, but from all the videos that people had showed me and all the pictures from the start, they'd spent a lot of money on the ground. So obviously looking at the pictures of the pitch that's being relayed, it looks good. So I'm very impressed with the facilities, and obviously the fans, nice and loud. It's what you want when you're playing. You want them to be the 12th man, don't you? So I'm looking forward to getting started again, and hopefully the fans can spur us on to have a good campaign next season.
Obviously, you mentioned your time at Chorley, and whilst you were still learning as a player, you was a part of a side that went up to the National League, so you must have gained a lot from that and just being around that.
Yeah, definitely. I've said this plenty of times, football's about marginal errors. A lot of Chorley's wins were 1-0 wins, 2-1 wins. I said, from free kicks, from corners. I said, and that was the difference. I said, we came second in the end. I said, but for the whole season, we were up there, we were fighting, and sometimes it'd be 1-1 until the 90th minute, and they wouldn't give up, and then we'd get that goal at the last minute. And even from a playing point of view, sometimes we're sitting on the bench, you still get that part of being involved in a dressing room where every win matters. I said sometimes you play for a team and you're mid-table, and it gets about March, April time, and there's nothing to play for anymore. But both times that I've been at Chorley for the 2 years, I think the first year I was there, we were in the playoffs. I had much more of an involvement that year. I think because Stephen Jordan was injured, so I think they played the Stockport in the playoff quarterfinals. At Stockport's ground, I think there was about 8,500 there. I've had to go in and slot in as a 20-year-old centre half in a playoff quarterfinal, and experiences like that have helped me to become the player I am today. And moments like that is what you want to play football for. Obviously there's some big teams in this league, and you'd love to be able to have them in a playoff final and beat them at their ground and be able to celebrate with the fans.
Does having sort of that like winning mentality of that team and having those experiences, does that sort of help you settle into National League North football now?
Yeah, definitely. Every team I've been at, everyone wants to win. It's football, isn't it? I said, but being from Chorley, when I was playing there, I said we must have had one of the smallest budgets in the league, and we competed year on year on year. I said that was purely from mentality. The group of lads that were in that changing rooms, everyone was so tight. And if someone was down or if someone weren't playing, it was part of the group that got everyone back together. And that mentality, which was why they went up in the end. Obviously, I wasn't there this year, so they haven't had it. I'm not too sure what went on this year at the club. I know they brought in quite a few signings and stuff, and it's a complete different ball game in the conference. But when I was with them in the National League North, that mentality was there throughout the players, the fans, the manager, the playing staff, even the kit man. Everyone was there for the win, and it was all for the team. There was no eyes. It was everyone for them, no one for themselves, everyone for the team.
And of course, does that fit into sort of your football education as well? Because obviously you came through the youth ranks at Liverpool, you then spent time with Wigan. Does sort of having that sort of education coming through and rising as a player help you?
Definitely, I'd say it's completely different coming from academies to non-league football. I'd say there was an interview the other day from Tom Rewett. Some people might not have listened to it, but he did an interview. He plays for Morecambe, and he was talking about chances of being at academy compared to men's football. And he was playing resis at Liverpool Academy, and some managers were coming to watch him to try and take, a young 20-year-old centre half on loan. I said, and in academy football, you don't get the experience of what men's football is about. It was, you have the ball, we have the ball, you have the ball, we have the ball. There was no put the ball into the box and I'll head it away and I can prove what I need to do to become a centre half in men's football. So I'd say my experience from coming through the academies was completely different to when I started at Chorley. If there was any advice I could give to a young player coming through at that time, was to try and go out on loan. I said when I was at Wigan, I made the mistake to stay as a resi player. Apart from a 2-week loan at Macclesfield, I didn't really get out there. So when I came into Chorley, I had no experience in men's football, and it was a real eye opener to come into men's football and see how different it was to how you've been taught how to play in academies. It's pass. But in men's football, if you do that, you're going to get tackled, and then one mistake costs you the game, and it could cost you your job at the same time.
Well, of course, obviously, like you mentioned, you dropped down. You played for Witton. You was on loan at Lancaster and Clitheroe. So you've sort of had the more gritty sides as well, at a more gritty level. So do you have a sort of rounded sort of style of play of like from just where you've been?
Well, I would say I'm more of a ball playing centre half, and every club I've been at, they recognise that. But as a centre half in men's football, you've got to, you're first and foremost, you're a defender, aren't you? And I feel like going to them nitty gritty clubs has made me a better all round defender. Coming through the academies, I've technically been good with my feet, I said, but that doesn't mean anything when you come into non-league football, because at the end of the day, a defender's job is to defend the goal. So if you can be as good as you want with the ball at your feet, but if you're conceding 2 or 3 every week, you're not doing your job properly, are you? So I feel like going to them clubs has benefited me a lot, and made me the player I am today.
So going back to obviously joining Southport, what do you think you can bring to the side? Like, do you think you can just add another level to the team and help the team go forward next season?
Yeah, when I spoke to Watson, I knew he was looking to recruit players that are young and hungry, and I feel like I bring that. Having the setbacks from being released from Wigan, the stint I had at Chorley, and then having to drop down, it made me hungry to go and prove some people wrong. So obviously Watson wanted them type of players that have got something to prove. So he doesn't want bystanders or passengers that are just happy to come to the club and just pick up a wage. He wants players there that are going to fight for the club and fight for the jobs. Because at the end of the day, he wants players that are going to be there for the fans and not just to pick up a wage. So I feel I bring that to the table. Yeah.
So obviously Liam is someone who has had success at this level. You know, he's won National League North with Southport on 2 occasions, and he just likes a hard-working team. So what's it been like working under him so far? Have you experienced why he's had that success?
Yeah. You can see his work ethic. He's like every point matters. You know, we do have the first session. We did have a bit of a tiff when he had to go at me for passing back to the keeper, and that's something we talked about, because, as he said, he likes to get the ball forward as quick as possible. And if I lose the ball as a centre half and play it back to the goalkeeper, put him under pressure, it's my fault. So it's him helping me as a player. But I can see why he says stuff like that to me, is he wants me to improve my game, and doesn't want me dallying on the ball as a centre half. So from the short time that I worked with him, I can see he's got his philosophy, and I adapt my game to that. And the more that I work with him, the more natural it'll come to me.
And so far this summer, the club's already made 2 new signings. So have you seen them, and are you excited to be playing with them?
Yeah, very excited. I knew a few weeks beforehand. Everyone else, obviously, the 2 good mates of mine when it was at Chorley. They both bring 2 completely different things to the team. But I think in terms of what they bring, the 2 real good signings. You know, Marcus has played at this level. He's played a lot higher up, but he's played at this level for the past 4 seasons, and he's got a proven track record. He's one of them that you love having on your team, but you hate playing against him. He's nasty. He works hard for the team. Doesn't stop running. Scores goals. Works the channels. Everything that Watson wants in a striker. You've got in Marcus Carver, and I think he'll link up really well with Samo, George, and whoever he plays up there top with. But I feel he brings something different to the side. And in terms of Matt Chalner, one of the best 1v1 defenders I've played with. I said you get what you get with him. I said he'll give you 100% week in, week out. No one will get past him. And he's a committed lad, so he fits in with Watson's philosophy again. So I'm looking forward to linking up with them again. And hopefully we can get promotion like we did last year with Chorley.
So finally, like, obviously you mentioned promotion is a target you want for the whole team. But what are your personal targets for the forthcoming season?
I want to establish myself as a starter. I don't want another season where I was in and out of the team like Chorley. I want to be a season where I was at Witten, where I was playing week in, week out. I want to start to add some more goals to my game. I feel like as a centre half, I should be scoring at least 3 or 4 a season. I feel like I can add that to my game. And then in terms of a team goal, I feel like we've got the quality at the moment, even without new signings, to go and push for promotion. So I'm looking to start strong next season. Hopefully we can get into a minimum of playoff places, looking to get into the first or second place.
Well, thank you for joining me today, mate. Thank you for everyone who's been watching.